This is 24. Remember to like, comment, favorite, and subscribe for more. You know what? It finally ended. I'm finally out of an abusive and volatile relationship with a video game. It had to, unfortunately, come to this, where I just constantly provided money to this video game over and over and over and over again. And as a consumer, the game just kept on verbally, figuratively slapping me around. But luckily, I'm out of it. I'm talking about League of Legends. So a lot of people have been quitting League of Legends really in the past year. And it's all Riot's fault, by the way, because they have a really solid game. They have a really solid esport, I would say. As a game, it has its flaws, but as an esport, when it comes to actually watching it, it's very entertaining. But Riot just doesn't seem to get the memo here. So one of the main problems that I have with Riot is that they have been quoted, by the way, they have written this on their own website when it comes to patch changes, when it comes to gameplay, and also just a question that people have been posing towards them, whether you're going to add in elements of your game that's going to make your game previously as fun, if not funner, because there are some builds that are not viable anymore, some champions that aren't viable anymore, and it's not necessarily because they needed to be nerfed or buffed. It's simply put because they wanted to bottleneck the amount of champions and amount of builds that you can do in an effort to make the game more competitive. So instead of going for these very weird and wacky builds that may have been off meta, now you're forced to go for a specific type of build for a specific type of champion. And I don't really have a problem. Well, now I should say, at first I had a huge problem with Riot Games just bottlenecking everything into this very, very small area of gameplay. And that is, you play to win now. You don't play for fun, you play to win. And I felt like when I first heard about it, when I first read that's the decision that they were going forward with, and that is the style of gameplay that they wanted to have, I was pissed off. I felt that they were excluding a certain type of gamer, aka me, who was both in it for competitive reasons as well as very recreational reasons. And I felt that they were secluding a lot of gamers who were playing the game for very recreational reasons. Now, I don't have a problem with that anymore. Here's the reason why. They have absolutely every single right. It's their game. If they want to make it a competitive game, that's perfectly fine. There are some games like Saints Row, for instance, where Deep Silver, they took a completely different route with how the game was going to be made. Like Saints Row 2 and Saints Row 3 are two separate just beasts altogether. And then you have Saints Row 4 that takes elements of both Saints Row 3 and Saints Row 2 and puts it all into one game. And it took Saints Row 3, this really weird anomaly in the series, to really transfer over into Saints Row 4. But League of Legends, or Riot Games, hasn't really the creativity, not even, I shouldn't say the creativity, they don't have the work ethic. Riot Games, I don't know what they don't have. It's not that they don't have the creativity, because they create different champions and they create different skins, and they do have the work ethic because they put into practice what they've envisioned. But it's weird. It's just they don't have. Here we go. They don't have the foresight. They don't have the foresight to be able to look and see what they have right in front of them. It's like they're blind or something like that they can't see what's right in front of them. And what's right in front of them is a shit ton of problems. For instance, right, and this is why I quit League of Legends. This is why, I shouldn't say quit. The reason why I have really stopped playing League of Legends is because Riot has made their game into a competitive game, but the competitive elements of the game are broken. Okay, Dynamic Q, for example. Why is this not fixed? It's December, and it was announced and it was released really early of this year. So it's been a good 8 months since dynamic queue has been implemented into the ranking system, and it's still not fixed. Queue times are stupidly long now. For instance, I'm average at League of Legends, so that would put me high silver, low gold, right? Or not even high silver, low gold, moderate silver, high silver, right? But I'm high silver, low gold. And I got put in bronze 1, right? But obviously you have players, especially pro players and ex-pro players, that have been placed in silver, gold, and even bronze. So it's not happening to just me. But it's stupid that it's happening to everyone. And I'm going to get on that point in a second. But the queue times are ridiculously long. Has anyone noticed that it went from a minute for average players, just for silver players, to now almost 3 minutes just to get in one game? That doesn't make any sense, especially if you're in bronze. Especially now, if most of the player base is in bronze right now, it doesn't make any sense to have 3-minute queue times. There's millions of players that play this game every single day, every single minute, every single week of every single year for the past 8 to 9 years. It doesn't make any sense why I literally can't find 10 people to play a game. Why it takes 3 minutes to find 10 people. That doesn't make any sense. If you're gonna make your game more competitive, if you're going to say, okay, we're gonna add in all of these new features to make our game more competitive, we're gonna add in instant replay so that way you can really look at your games and critique yourself and learn from your own mistakes. If you're gonna do all of that, if you're gonna have all of these significant changes to the game, the problem is that if you start players off at a lower player base, or at a lower ELO, if you have a silver player who was in silver and is now in bronze, that just completely fucks up the competitiveness of the game. Because what you have now isn't a highly competitive game. You have just this constant grind that's very reminiscent to me of a 2K16 or 17, where you're just constantly grinding for your my player. And 2K, the devs, they always try and change it. They always try and change the way that the game is being played. And Riot is doing that now. It doesn't make any sense, by the way, for if you started off in silver of last year to start off in bronze of this year. It doesn't make any sense if you were in challenger to start off in diamond. It doesn't make any sense. And I don't need to be a diamond level player, a master, a challenger level player to recognize that this system is flawed. The reason why I'm done with League of Legends is because Riot just doesn't seem to get that every single time they add on another new feature to their game, a lot of features that they haven't updated, that they haven't upgraded, and that they haven't even come into the spectrum of even coming close to fixing them, are still broken. They're leaving those same systems behind and they're moving on to a new system, and it stacks up over and over and over and over and over again. And they seem that they can't understand that they don't. It's not that they can't. It's that they don't understand that it's just a mountain of problems that they haven't fixed. And obviously now it's just regular things are starting to get me very upset with the game. The community, I cannot tell you. I think I've had 3 games where just one player just has this terrible attitude about the game. For instance, I had a Zach on my team, just flaming the hell out of our team. He was literally, and I'll hopefully have this video up. He was literally talking smack to. He was insulting everyone. He was calling us donkeys. He was calling us fucking idiots. This is things that you see in League of Legends on a daily basis, by the way. But what really just pissed me off is that I'm like 11-0, I'm 10-0, or I had a massive kill streak, and it's just this one guy that just has to be just so negative about everything that's going on. He says, you guys are fucking idiots. Meanwhile, he's diving the enemy team in a 1v3 scenario. No one is there to support him. No one is there to help him. And he has the audacity to say that we're in the wrong for not helping him. To say that we're in the wrong for not trying to help a guy that's pretty much just suicided into the enemy team. And it's just, recently I've gotten just very irritable with these players. It's just so frustrating and again, it's just one thing on top of the other. It's just so frustrating to have to play these games with these people and have just this block for the competitiveness of the game. If your game is going to be competitive, it needs to be streamlined. Hang on, what sport do you know on the planet that has players calling other players fucking donkeys on their own team? I would have a problem with it if it was the opposing team, right? Because you're talking trash and you're insulting the other team, and sometimes you get your just desserts. Sometimes you get smacked in the mouth. But if it's your own teammates, I've never seen that in a sport before. I've never seen where insulting another person on your team is how you account for yourself. And it's just so frustrating to play this game now. But I'm going to stop the video here. This has been 24. Remember to like, comment, favorite, and subscribe for more. It really helps out with my videos and me getting feedback on what videos you guys are feeling and what videos you guys aren't feeling. And the aftermath of me, just being done with League of Legends, I'm gonna be finally leaving college, and I'll be finally going back home where I can actually have a somewhat better setup and be able to actually play on my PS4 and I will be playing Overwatch, by the way. I'll try and get into that game. I'll also be playing Final Fantasy 15 because I really do want to play that game as well. And if both of those games aren't very good, I will restart The Witcher 3. I will restart my playthrough of The Witcher 3, and I will have a full playthrough of The Witcher 3. And plus, that just gives me something to do. Please remember to like, comment, favorite, and subscribe for more. Until those videos, until Thursday or even Friday, have a fantastic day. I'll see you next time.